I think there's more going on in the music industry than we understand. And as it pertains to money, how much they're making, how much they're losing, the connections that they have with some of these brands. People talk about like the prison, the way that like a lot of executives get an artist so that people can go to prison almost in a way, and how that's somewhat connected because it's privately owned. I mean, that's a yay line. Privately owned prisons get you or whatever. But let me back up just a little bit, and I definitely want to touch on some of the things. What were some of the artists that you guys listened to growing up, or like when you first tapped into hip hop?
So should I start?
Yeah, you start.
Okay, I
You're gonna
went
take longer than
from.
I will.
Let's start with you then, because
No,
then.
you go first. You go first.
Okay, I started off randomly. By the way, I wasn't listening to hip hop early age. I was more like a metal rock kid.
Okay, why
Then
not
I
hip hop?
started.
Why not?
It didn't connect. First of all, I started listening to salsa and all that stuff because I grew up on in the Caribbean, so I was spoon fed that music. I can still sing some songs, and I haven't heard them in years.
Nice.
That's. But then I went to metal rock, and then I think around. I started listening sporadically to hip hop. Lil Wayne was one of the first people. Then I went to Kanye. From Kanye, listened to Birdman for for a while. I'm ashamed to say that, but guys, and after
Like
that,
his albums?
his albums and his collaboration with Lil Wayne, but
Yeah.
also Rick Ross. And then suddenly, when I went to college, I got introduced to more underground stuff. Well,
Yeah.
slightly also be right before of it, I started listening to the Roots. The
Okay.
It's with it's the album with the Hangman game on it. Um, and then I started listening to underground hip hop, and then I went on really to Jedi Mind Tricks and all those types of underground. And from then on, I mainly stayed underground. I mean, I listen sometimes to Drake and all those guys, but I don't really listen to mainstream that much because, I mean, it's not really like you said. The words are not connecting. You started the show with it, and I'm gonna. It sometimes it doesn't connect, and I like flow. I like lyrics. I like it has to connect. And I'm not saying I'm only listening to conscious hip hop because of
Right.
course I will listen to a Griselda album like it's nothing. It's very negative if you listen
Yeah.
to it, but I will listen to it.
Sure.
But you have to be aware what you're listening to and that it's not kind of become a part of you. That's how I see it. But
I,
that's
I
basically in a short way my
Mm-hmm.
journey.
Yeah, so I started listening to hip hop when I was like 11 because before that I was listening to, let's say, soft rock. Oh, disclaimer, I'm a love song guy, so ballads, etc.
Balance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but let's say the rappers that I was listening to were um, during those times. It was Ludacris. You had Ludacris, Kanye, you had Ti, you had Lil Wayne, definitely, and Eminem.
Oh
Of
no,
course, you had
stay
like
away.
and afterwards, when I was 18, so those were mostly like the popular songs, right? And in when I was 18, I started listening to albums, and then I started, but it was basically those same artists. You had the 808s and Heartbreaks, you had the of Kanye, Theater of the Mind, of Ludacris. Um, and after that, I transitioned more to J. Cole. I never connected with Kendrick Lamar. I must say that I never connected with. I either liked, let's say, the hip hop, the party hip hop. You have the hip hop for the parties. You have the southern hip hop, or R&B. But I was never into the really, of course, and that's the thing, I was never into hardcore gangster. So gangster rap, of course, there are some beats you listen to, so I listen into it for the beat. But I always found the lyrics very harsh. And the funny thing is, those lyrics get inserted in songs that have nothing to do with the gang life. So they just say, for example, Fast and Furious. It was the Too Fast, Too Furious soundtrack. Ludacris had a song, and it was about cars and speeding and driving away from police. And then at one point, he mentions he gets a shot. So, and I'm like, yeah, but why would you mention it? And the song was so good, but my father wouldn't let me listen to it. As soon as they said shotgun, he was like, nope, we're not listening to this. And when you're small, you don't really realize, you think it's normal. But when you get older, you ask yourself, why would you put lyrics like that in the songs? It wasn't necessary. It wasn't necessary, you know? It was just, you were almost there, but it's like, you have to put something violent in it. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to, but for whatever reason, they do. And yeah. So yeah. I asked that just because I think when it comes to music, I think people are a little bit more aware of this stuff than we give credit to. So you're going to have your, like, I say that because I think a lot of album sales for gangster rap has gone down. And so I think that there's a trend that people are just
majority,
like,
yeah.
Why, you know, it's not only why are we listening to this, but how is this helping? So even though by mainstream, we're still highlighting this type of music, I think the figures and what's going on in these boardrooms, I think executives are saying, we want gangster rap to be doing more because we definitely for whatever reason, they want more violence as he said it, they want more violence in communities because it is more control. And we need to depend on the government and all that stuff. I understand that, but I don't think that it's hitting for obvious reasons. Because I think people are just listening to this and whether it's their parents or I remember like when I was a child listening to this, I'm like, this is not good. Now, again, I'll listen to it, right? Especially if it's like before a football game and it's like, you know, knuck if you buck. Yeah, I'm ready to kill somebody. Like I fully get it. But then it's like, if you're relaxing on a Saturday, why would you listen to it?
Yeah.
And at the end, it's like, it's music, it's art, it's painting a picture. Why would that be what you want in your mind as you're just driving down the street or you're hanging with your girl or, you know, what setting other than you literally like, and I'm going to speak for myself, like for pregame music, when I need to get super hyped or I'm working out and I need to like push weight, what is the purpose of listening to like slitting throats and blah blah? And I there's a few songs that I want you to bring up. Are we able to pull up some lyrics?
Of course.